Right, so hello viewers and welcome back to our Let's Play of Gear City. I'm your host PPChoo as always, and we've sped briefly into the future here once again by roughly say 2 years. And the reason being is that I wanted to do some R&D, and I'll show you why in a second here, but unfortunately it didn't say do too much. And namely, I was trying to say unlock a few more new modules for our different, rather components for our different modules here. Namely things like, for example, new frames for the chassis. So I've assigned some money to the R&D teams over here to just sort of research those things a little bit faster. However, currently they're not doing all too much with that, but they're still contributing slightly to unlocking new things there. And in addition to that, I was messing around with interests. So currently, as you see here, we have right around 5 million to spend, and I've actually stored away 3 million, or rather 4 million now, mostly due to the fact that it's getting slightly closer to the war times of 1914. And with that said, I wanted to stockpile some money in the event that we had to move to the States to just sort of continue our business. So, in the meantime, I've also designed a few new, components for our cars, and with that said, I want to, make one of our current vehicles better, because actually right now, our old Anteater model is actually selling better than our Phaeton 2, at least for however many units are being produced right now. So yeah, we definitely want to make a better car, so we'll go to R&D department and we'll go to vehicle and we'll just effectively make a new Phaeton for us here, and we'll just use all of the latest sort of engines. I made the Shingle over here, which is a cheaper straight layout engine. It's 4 cylinders. It's actually, I think, cheaper than yeah, it's actually shorter and cheaper than our 200 engine. It uses 2-stroke gas rather than 4-stroke. It actually has more horsepower than the other one, rather actually comparable torque, not more. Fuel mileage is more or less the same, but it's definitely lighter is one thing, and it has an overall rating of 50, better reliability, fuel efficiency, and power for what it's worth there. So I hope that'll make a big difference for our newly modeled car called Ounce, I suppose. And we'll just really go from there. So again, we want to design a body, and I already have a few pre-made ones, so I'll just load up one of these. And again, this is mainly for the aerodynamics, so it's not terribly important for our purposes here. We'll load that up. We'll load up all of these different different menus, and we will just really hopefully design a better vehicle this time. So it looks like the base car here is only right around $500 worth, so that's actually pretty cheap. And it looks like the main things that we want to focus on this time would be fuel efficiency and dependability, which is a really big thing about this car. I'm going to make the target demographic here just sort of middle class, just average to sort of out of the way person, because we're going to bump up the expenses a little bit here. And with that said, that'll make this car more expensive. I'm going to make this a bit more of a solid car. I'm going to increase the amount of focus on quality on assembly of this car, which will definitely increase the price for it, which is gonna be slightly helpful. And the main thing that we can do here is that we can design the interior and test the car, and then further refine it using these 2 panels right here for various different things. So one thing is that we want to focus on designing a very reliable car, and we also want to focus on comfort. Fuel economy is something that we want to bump up just so that it can hopefully get up. We'll do a bit of a performance testing at all, and definitely more things for the market demographic. This will be less so of a utility car. For style, I want it to be a stylish, slightly innovative, fairly luxurious car, a decently comfortable one. Safety was a big thing that we were lacking, so I'll bump that up to imperative. And I'll also bump up technology to filled, which will increase the cost of the car slightly, but it'll increase the luxury rating considerably. So we'll do something like that, and I really hope that this one will be, much better. I think we'll actually focus on safety, slightly more here. And cargo focus. Let's give a slight focus on that. Dependability is another thing. So we'll do that. That'll cost us quite a bit on design, but the estimated unit costs will be pretty cheap. And I hope that because of the whole sort of thing behind that, after it's sort of done researching, hopefully it'll be a car that we can generate a whole bunch of markup off of. So we'll do its thing. We'll let it sort of build here, and it'll take its time. And we will just sort of skip forward 1 year to let the car sort of develop. In the meantime, I mean, we're still floating a pretty large amount of cash, so overall things are going pretty well. And it should be done, say... It would be nice if they give you the option to skip, like, say, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe a quarter of a year at a time. That would be actually pretty useful. And that'll effectively finish up that. Production has been decreased due to wear. And, well, now we have a new vehicle to, say, put on the market, and that'll generate a new review. So, let's do that. Let's come over here to London. Let's do, say, factories, production. Let's see. I think we'll take off production from, say, producing the Phaeon 2 because it's, say, not that great of a car, quite honestly. And I think we'll start to build, say, a few of these ounces over here. So, yeah, we will step up, say, the gain for that. Oh, looks like we didn't take it off here. There, so that'll make it 0. And we'll make this new line the thing that we want to build here. And we'll pick a medium quality versus, say, quantity type of thing over here. And we'll build, say, 300 units of them. So we'll assign that to do its thing. And the ounce will be sort of built now. So what I've also done here is I've expanded to, say, branches in Ireland. So we've done that as well. Just sort of a minor touch. Right, so going from there, let's market the car. So we'll go auto commands again, sell everywhere, choose car, the ounce. And I noticed that the, I don't know if you guys noticed there, but the wages have increased to right around, say, because wages increase over time. And of course you had to factor in, say, inflation. It's gone up to 570 right now. So in theory, we could have a maximum, say, car cost, a recommended maximum car cost of right around 2,500. So that's exactly sort of what I want to market it as. I want to see how many of these things sell. So, right, we produced 211 of them in the first month of making them, and we've sold 204 of them, so that's not bad. And we've also sold a few phantoms, so we're phaetons, so that's good. And let's check. The YOLOCO ounce is, well, let's see, in the luxuries category, and I believe these reviews are relative to other cars on the market right now in accord to the time period, whereas the overall ratings that you get in the ratings category of the design menu is I think it's more or less compared to what the possible achievable maximum is at the time. These reviews are based upon what is in the market. At least that's my opinion on it. I don't know if that's correct. So evidently, for our vehicle, it is one of the best in luxuries. Unfortunately, it's slightly cramped. The safety is enough to save your life, so that's at least better than what we've had in the past. The car is not the slowest, but still slow, which is rather unfortunate, but it handles very well as an everyday driver type of car. And overall, the quality can be somewhat as good. On the topic of power, it comes in a little weak, but overall, the car is fair, and it's definitely, say, not the best deal, but it's, say, a great sort of car there, so that's good. And with that said, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the car price of it because it has pretty good reviews, and we're going to bump that up by 15%. Over here we're 14.2 if you want to get technical, mainly because this car is now going to be one of the main things that we produce here in London. And yeah, that is pretty much that. So looks like we're already doing that, so that is good. I think I'll take away, say, 2 production lines from the Anteater. There we go. Put 2 of them over here, so we'll produce, say, right around 100 more. And I'm going to see whether or not, say, retooling the factory would be, say, a good idea right now. We could do it. It'll actually be kind of expensive, though, but we'll do it. And we'll let that sort of do its thing. So 1 month of low production, 1 month of high production now. And the factory will be retooled, it'll do its thing, and it will effectively just produce more of these, really. Right, so now we actually also have an extra production line. I'm going to put that on the Anteater just sort of because. Go to our factory, go to the amount of things that we're selling. It looks like it's building up a bit of a reserve now, but it might, say, do better in a while. So we're going to speed up the time here. We're going to see how many more we sell. And it looks like, World War I is pretty much starting to kick off, with war in the Balkans being the first thing to sort of go. And let's see, hopefully this won't affect our bottom line too much. And it looks like we're selling half of the cars that we're producing over here. So I'm going to check the vehicle demands. I'm going to check what we're doing here. So the Phaeton is demands are being filled. The Yellow Coat ounce is either, say, priced, say, a little highly, or perhaps it's just sort of priced in a point where, say, most people can't afford it just yet now that we've sort of bumped it up by 15%. But either way, it's being sold, say, at a decent rate. The Phaeton here is, rather the Anteater is out of stock, really, at this point, but evidently it still has pretty high demand for perhaps working class people wanting it there. So really continuing off of that point, I think we'll move forward, say, slightly. And the main thing is that I want to be slightly careful of, say, avoiding World War One. I'm really not sure as to what it does to London, and with that said, I don't want it to be, say, a major thing that'll crush our industry. And currently, I mean, we're sitting on 8.6 million, so actually, either way, really, it can't, say, do too much to us. At the same time, I think we'll move, say, advertising forwards by a slight amount, and we'll start to put, say, more ads in the newspaper for the ounce. So we'll add, say, quite a bit to each category just for that car in particular. So we'll do that, and hopefully this will, say, really move some units here and there. And overall, I mean, our advertising fees aren't, say, that bad. So we'll do that in pretty much every single place. And we'll fast forward another turn and see whether or not, say, that makes a big difference. Our profit has stayed the same. But checking sales, I mean, it looks like the selling of them is sort of just as is. And I think I'll check the review again. Perhaps it's changed, because it sometimes does that. Oh, actually the ounce has gone from really well to horrible really fast. That's kind of weird. Looks like technology is catching up with us really, really fast like that. But I mean, evidently we're still selling, say, decent things here and there. So that's, it's going kind of well. Right, so in that case, I think we'll have to do some price adjustments here. And we'll change the selling price of the Yellow Coat ounce because it's a pretty cheap car to manufacture. I think we'll add a pretty steep sort of cost to it, so we'll modify that. And let me see. So right, we'll modify that over there. Or no, actually, the better thing to do would be to go to, say, the auto commands panel, and to set car price for the ounce, and we'll set that at just sort of 2,000, because from what I remember, is it change all prices? No. Because I remember that I think the actual production costs for the ounce is only, say, 500 something, if that's correct. So with that said, I mean, either way we'll be making, say, quite a bit of money on it. Yeah, it's only like 530, so either way, if we drop the price slightly here, we might just, say, get more money out of it, just due to the fact that it'll sell much better. And it looks like now we're starting to sell close to capacity, so that is working very well. I suppose that's a combination of the advertisements and the fact that we've lowered the price here by a bit, making up that difference. And I think with this particular model of the car, I think it'll be more so of a numbers game than anything. So we should be able to drop that even further down to say perhaps 1,500, and I want to sell just effectively all of the vehicles that we have and slightly more, so that we can start to sort of change our reserves here. So we'll drop that price down even slightly more. And we'll see how many people we can just sort of sell this vehicle to, and we want to get very close to that production number. So there we go, and I believe, or at least I hope that the reviews will change depending on like the amount of the budgeting range that we have here. So that's changing as time goes on, and I mean either way, oh, great month for us right here. Made over 1 million this month, selling reserve Phaetons, Anteaters, and some of these new cars. So despite the fact that our cars aren't, say, doing so great in reviews, we are definitely making a killing in these sections right here. And of course, with that money, we'll take it to the R&D department and we'll build some new vehicles, this time with, say, better engines, seeing as how it looks like the chassis is still pretty good, but the engine is something that we are very, very lacking on over these years here and there. Or actually, no, I think we'll just do all three parts here as a sort of a one whole big deal type of thing. Right, so we'll go for chassis, we'll go to advanced, we'll go to, say, the ladder frame again, we'll go for pretty much the same build, called the Rhinoceros, I guess, and we'll do, say, something of a nice, stronger sort of design, something with a bigger engine sort of hold there. Right, so we'll make this thing like this. Here's what we'll do. We'll make it be able to hold a pretty wide engine here of... Looks like that's staying at 35 by 35, which would be, say, good. I think for this chassis, we'll make it, say, a bit of a bigger one as well. So we'll make it, say, the Rhinoceros chassis will be for larger, say, maybe pickup trucks in the event that we want to expand to the States and that it's really good for that. So we'll make it a bigger wheelbase, a bigger track type of car, and we'll also increase the frame height and all slightly for more durability. So we'll go with something like this for, say, more of a powerhouse type of car, and this thing can handle an engine of 46 inches by 43, so that's pretty good. Actually, we plan on making straight engines, so I'm gonna actually lower the production costs here slightly, and of course R&D costs by roughly a 30k gap by, say, putting the maximum engine sort of width lower. Oops, that one was length, so yeah, we'll drop that off still, and it'll change the price by roughly the same amount. We'll make it 46 by 38. We're going to focus on stability, a slight amount in ride comfort, but this will be more of a sort of a performance braking, and I think the durability for what it is already is pretty good, so we'll just give a slight buff there. And for design, we will sort of go for performance, strength, durability, control slightly because we have the cash for it, and this time we will actually give it, say, some really great material qualities, decent component qualities, and for tech we will actually make this, say, a pretty advanced car. And for manufacturing qualities as well, we'll make this, say, pretty advanced. I'll just make it, say, it costs a solid estimated cost of 100 bucks. And this is evidently a really comfortable ride, would be really useful in making a high quality vehicle. So we'll build that right away. And I'm going to send in multiple designs here. So we're going to have one of those things go in there, and we'll make another one, and we'll call it the mouse over here, but not spelled as in mouse. So we'll call it that because this will be a lighter, sort of a shorter car, and this one is going to be more or less for smaller cars. So yeah, we're going to reduce, say, these things. We're still going to increase the frame weight and height, mainly due to the fact we want a solid vehicle here, and we're going to change these, say, meters again. So we want to make a smaller, lighter sort of vehicle. We'll try to go for, say, a slight stability, more sort of a performance thing than anything. Braking is sort of a priority, durability is sort of not. Design, so for performance and control is mainly the thing here. This will be, say, more or less a city type of car. Then again, if it's like city car, it doesn't really need performance, but it's something that we've been getting killed in ratings on, so I want to have it there. And this will be more, say, of a heavy emphasis on manufacturing requirements, and it's going to cost us slightly less than a Rhinoceros, so we'll send in that build order as well. And for engine here, we're going to go for another straight engine, and if I probably don't remember this correctly, but let's see, I want to check what the chassis components is. I think it was 46 by 38. Anyhow, we'll see here. Did we... There we go. Chassis, Rhinoceros, supported engine 46 by 38. So we'll try to build something along those standards. So again, we're going to go with straight engine here. 4-cylinder this time. 2-stroke gas. We're going to go with naturally aspirated. Or actually, no, let's go with a supercharger. So this will increase, say, fuel economy and performance at the cost of reliability. And we are going to make this for the 46 by 38 model. So we're going to open up all of these parts again, Actually, I think we'll just do them one at a time this time. So we're going to go to engine layout. This engine will be exactly the specifications wanted, really. So there we go, 45. Let's do something like that just to be safe. 44 by 30. And evidently this will generate, say, the 67 horsepower in its current state, so that's not bad. And we're going to make this a slightly bit of a lighter engine at the cost of, say, some issues with R&D. This is going to make R&D slightly